Hi everybody, it's Chris and we're at beautiful Beaver Island State Park on Grand Island in Western New York. I was asked a few videos ago on one of the comments if I think this was when I was traveling throughout the Northeast on my 2-week trip, if I would do a video on how I pack the Spyder. And I responded, yes, that's a great idea, I will definitely do that. And then I got to thinking, there are two elements to this. So this video is going to be how I keep my Spyder packed all the time. When it's in the garage, right now, when I go on a trip, the things that I keep on the Spyder at all times. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another video. Now it's going to be a little while before I do that video on what I pack and how I pack for a long distance trip. And I'm going to do that in conjunction with a trip in March to Florida. That's going to be an epic 3-week adventure. There are a lot of things that I need to cooperate in terms of weather and road salt and all the rest of it, but I'll explain that. I'll do a video on planning that trip and also packing for that trip, because I don't have a trailer. I'm not going to get a trailer at least anytime soon, but I can do that. When I travel solo, I can figure out how to get everything I need, even for a long trip, on the Spyder. And I'll do a separate video showing you how I plan and pack for a much longer trip. But today I'm going to take you inside each compartment of the Spyder, and you can see what I've got in the front and the side cases and the glove box and in the rear trunk as well. So let's dive in. So we're going to start with the front first, but before I get to the front, I just want to show you, I had a little casualty just now. My key case, whatever you call this thing, the key ring that I bought and I was so excited about, and it held up for a couple of months, but the glue came apart. I take 100% responsibility for that. I'm assuming it was, I just didn't, put it together properly in terms of the adhesiveness. I probably didn't let it set long enough. But let's take a look at the front. So what I keep in the front all the time is, first of all, this is a passenger helmet. Now, if you saw my last video on riding in hot weather, this is also going to be the helmet that I wear on the hottest of hot days. So I'll just put this right here to get that out of the way. The rest of the stuff I keep in the front. So first of all, I get a bunch of microfiber towels that I keep in a bunch of I think in every storage compartment, there's probably a few of these. You can't have enough, especially when you're traveling, but the last time I bought these, which this is part of the last pack that I bought, they were smaller than the normal microfiber towels I buy. So I made a mistake there, but that's okay. I keep a pair of spare leather gloves. These are old and faded, but they're still in great condition. And so I keep these on here, whether it's for a passenger or just in case something happens with my gloves. I always keep in a couple of my compartments just a bunch of folded paper towels. Invariably, whether it's when I'm riding in the rain or whatever, I want to do a disposable, oh, that's cool, electric bike. I want to do a disposable, wipe down of something. The paper towels are for that I might want to not use the microfiber towels for. I keep a hat for the sun. So I am not a prepper, not at all, sort of. I'm kind of an emergency preparedness guy, so I keep a kit that I kept on my motorcycles, I kept it in my car, and I just have different things in here. You can see some paracord, Kleenex, got a bunch of wet wipes. In this, there's some matches. I keep a plastic utensil set in there. I know I've got a flashlight in there, one of those headlamp flashlights buried in there. Maybe a couple of other things. I think I see a compass right here, but keep a bunch of things there that I wouldn't mind having. The ability to light fire is important in an emergency situation. I wouldn't mind happen if, crazy things happen while I'm out on the Spyder. I also have, in that regard, I keep in this bag, there's a bottle of water, just a standard 16-ounce bottle of water, and also a protein bar, a Quest bar. I keep that with me. I always have my bottled water. I didn't bring it today because I knew this would be a short video, but I always have a bottle of water there. But this is always on the machine, just in case something happens and I'm out and about on the Spyder when it happens. I've got maps here. Oh, I also have bungee cords there. And this is just a sack. This is just something that I got when I bought a pair of Skechers shoes. I liked it. I didn't want to chuck it, so I keep it here in case I ever need a sack. and I have a bungee net that we should all keep with us. Of course, it's all tied in with everything else, but you can see what I'm talking about there. You can see I've got maps here. These are road maps, paper maps of the entire Northeast. And then in the compartment that I have in the back of the frunk, so you can see I have a battery tender port there. I also keep, there it is, a road atlas. That's a road atlas of all of North America. This is just a plastic bag. I keep, you know, plastic bags and things that I pick up when I'm buying other things, even unrelated to the Spyder. I like to keep them handy in case I ever need them when I'm, you know, out and about. But the North American Road Atlas, if something bad happens, my GPS is down, my phone is down, and I'm in a place where I just am not familiar with, I wouldn't mind having that. Now, I'm going to repack this in a bit. I'm going to do it offline so you don't have to see it. But one thing I do want to show you is I cannot, and this has been like this since day one, I cannot easily, I am putting a lot of force on this, I cannot close the frunk. So what I do is, very simply, is I just jiggle this little lever here. I just jiggle that a little bit. And that usually, sometimes it takes a few, that usually will, you can see the force that I'm using and it's not closing the trunk. I'm going to have the dealer look at this at my next service, which won't be long. I've got a couple of items on my punch list for the dealer, but there you go. Okay, so I'll repack the frunk in a bit. So now we'll go to the glove box. I did a video on the glove box on a separate video, but things have changed based on your comments, which I always appreciate. So we'll go to the glove box now. Okay, so I have the charger for both the phone and the GPS. I have some pieces of gum there, individually wrapped gum. I have Kleenex package there. I have, oh, one of my gum pieces got loose, that's okay. I have my garage door opener down there. I'm not going to take everything out. I've got a pen, a wet wipe. Oh, another piece of loose gum, terrific. And a little pen flashlight thing. And I think it's hard to see with the glare of the sun shining down on me, but I think that's it. You can see in the glove box. So now we'll look at the side cases. Before we get to the side case, I just want to show you the frunk when it's, I don't want to say fully loaded. I forgot to do this earlier, but when I've got all of the things that I normally keep in the frunk packed like this, there is still, it's hard to tell perspective, but I'm going to just lift my hand up from where it is to the top. You can see I still have plenty of space. I know I can fit. I know from experience my Spyder cover, which is a full-size cover. I did a video on the cover. That fits in here, along with my mesh jacket and even a couple of other things, because those things are kind of, what's the word, fungible. They squish pretty well. So the frunk fits a ton of things. The other thing I wanted to show you was I've got my New York Easy Pass clipped to the lid of the frunk. Before I bought the Spyder, I already started thinking about the Easy Pass, and here we go again. And I read on, you know, a bunch of forums that you can put it here and it reads through the plastic, and it does. It works. I have not had a problem with it. Okay, so let's go to the side cases now. So we'll start with the left side case. So I keep my rain gear. I'm not going to take this out. Well, you know what? I am going to take it out. So I've got an El Cheapo Columbia orange, you know, bright for when it's gloomy and rainy and whatnot. Oversized windbreaker waterproof jacket. Oversized because I want it to fit over my normal riding jacket, and it does. I have a pair, I should say, of gaiters that fit over my footwear, and they basically zip up to about here. I keep them in this separate bag because they invariably, I wore these last night on the way to a meeting, on the way home. It was rainy, and these invariably get dirty because they literally cover the entire foot, and you're literally stepping on, you know, the wet, dirty ground. So I keep them in this. I try to wipe them down, but, you know, every once in a while I'll give them a good thorough cleaning. But these aren't perfectly clean, so I leave them in the bag. And my Frogs Togs rain pants here, I keep a gun safe. I'm not going to go into why I keep a gun safe, but I do. A pair of, these are my Joe Rocket Wind Chill winter gloves. I love these gloves. I just leave them on the bike all the time, except in the winter when I'm using them all the time, in which case I keep them in my house, so when I go out they're handy. Keep a rain poncho, you know, just for whatever reason, just in case. And I did a whole video on these gloves. These are industrial gloves. I've yet to wear these gloves for a long extended ride. I only keep these on the motorcycle for the day when I'm wearing these. They get waterlogged, like in the worst rain imaginable. I know that I can always pull these out, and these are rainproof. They'll be uncomfortable because my hands will sweat up unless it's super cold, because these do not breathe whatsoever, but I keep those on the motorcycle at all times. Now, I'm going to repack this quickly. I'm going to turn this off so you don't have to watch me repack it, for a reason. I'll show you in a minute. Okay, you can see this is full, right? Right to the top, right to the left, and right to the right. However, because all of this stuff is squishable, all of it, I can easily make room here for something else. I could get a canvas bag if I'm on a long distance trip and I need more space. I can get a canvas bag, fill it up with stuff, and put it in here. There's more room here. The problem with this case is there's a, you know, the Can-Am hump, whatever they call this thing. And I believe all of the RTs going back from their beginning have this, there's like this plastic thing there that takes up some space. Because if that wasn't there, and it's not on the other side, and we'll get to that next, but I could literally put a pair of footwear in there. So I might want to travel with my hiking boots that I normally ride with in cooler climates, or if I'm on an all-day highway jaunt, I might want to wear those boots on my feet, but have a pair of Skechers in here. I can't put them here because of that hump, but I can put them on the other side, and we'll get to that now. Okay, so I've got this red canvas bag. I'm going to pull this out and put it right here. And before I go into the red canvas bag, I've got a bunch of microfiber towels, a white towel here. I've got some disposable shop towels there. I try to keep at all times a few rubber surgical gloves. If you check your tire pressure when you're out on the road, you know your hands get really, really dirty. If you're going into a restaurant or something, I keep wet wipes on the bike to wash my hands, but it wouldn't hurt to have those handy. Okay, so let's look at this, and this is going to take a little bit of time, and doing this with one hand is not the easiest thing, but we're going to do it. So another loose paper towel, put that here. Okay, so the first thing I see is my air compressor. This compressor works very well. Before I use this, before I got the Spyder, this is relatively new. I've been using this for the few months that I've had the Spyder. I had one of those stop and go. It's just such a beautiful day. This is the Niagara River. I just can't help but get distracted by it. So the stop and go worked well, and it was much smaller than this. It is a minimalist who likes to pack, you know, light and whatnot. I much prefer to have that. The problem is the hose on the stop and go was like half. All right, doing this with one hand is not going to be easy, but we're going to do it. We're going to make this happen. Here we go. You'll see what I mean once if all of the tires were like the front tires, then I would have the stop and go and I wouldn't need this. But you can see how long this is. That's very helpful when dealing with, in fact, there's more room here. There's more hose here. Look how long that is. It's like 2 feet, which is awesome for the rear tire. It's a simple slime, you know, it's a pretty popular brand. I know they have digital ones now, but this just works so well for me. I have some other things in here. This is from the stop and go pump that I used to use when I had my two-wheel motorcycle. Because this has tubeless tires, I kept it because this can help me. Now, the odds of me plugging a tire is, I don't know what the odds are, but the hole has to be literally a visible screw or something that I can easily see. Most tire issues that I'm going to have, I don't know that I'm going to get lucky enough to be able to plug it myself. That's why we have roadside assistance. And, oh, by the way, here's my tire pressure checker. Also a slime product. In those situations where let's say roadside assistance isn't readily available, or something like the worst possible thing happens. I'm in an area of town where I need to get out of there quickly. I wouldn't want to use this as ruins tires, but in an emergency, I could use this. I would have a problem with the rear tire because of the size of that hose. I think when I bought this, I think I did a test on it, and I could probably make it work, but I'd have to do some gymnastics to make that thing work. I keep the BRP toolkit in there as well. I like to keep everything that I would do work on the motorcycle in the same spot, so that's why that's there. Now the next thing I'm going to get to, I want to get to this last, yeah that's right, is this. And I keep this in towels because it's a piece of sensitive equipment, but I just love this, and I'm going to do a whole separate video on this. But I never thought I would take with me a jump starter, a jump pack, whatever you call these things. And I thought when I bought this accessory, I did a whole video on this, that this 12-volt charger would be what I would use to pump up my tires with this air compressor. This compressor is too powerful for this, and it blows a fuse, so I couldn't do this. So I was watching one of Spyder Wayne's videos. He does some great stuff, and he did a video on what he keeps on his bike in terms of electronics. He's infinitely more sophisticated than I am on like every level, but he spoke so highly of this that I went out and bought the same exact model. Now my guess is, from what little research I've done, all of these are probably, one, made in China, and two, very, very similar. But I swear by this thing, and I'm going to do a whole separate video on this. But with this thing, I can do a lot of things. I can charge my phone, I can charge a lot of different things, but it also has, I sure wish I had a third hand. Wouldn't that be great to have 3 hands? It comes with, so first of all, it's a jump starter, so it comes with obviously jumper cables, and oh, this is a headlamp. I told you I keep a few different flashlights, I think, on the motorcycle. So I keep the headlamp here if I'm at night. I don't like to ride at night, but at night, if I'm on the side of the road, I wouldn't mind having that when I'm doing all of this, right? But there's this. And what this is this plugs into the jump starter, then this plugs into this, and I can tell you from experience, now I've never had a flat tire on this, but I've had to put in, let's say, a few pounds in each tire, and this thing only used, I want to say, 10% of its capacity. I'm going to do a whole video on this. We're going to really put this through its paces, but I just love this thing. And I think that, oh, this is just the directions for this. I think I could probably chuck it, but because it's kind of new to me, I don't want to do that. Oh, and no, I got one more thing I want to show you. A couple of things, actually. So this is what they used to call the old Honda Pro Cleaner. Now it's the same thing, the same formula. It's the original Bike Spirit spray cleaner. I wash my bike. I wash it often. I was out in the rain yesterday, and so it's a little dirtier than I normally like it. The camera kind of disguises that, which is a good thing. But when I'm done washing my bike, I spray almost everything. Not everything, but almost everything with this. I also spray the windshield with this. I am not telling you that it is okay to do that, but I do it, and I have no problem with it. Now, I used to use, before I started using this, Plexus on my windscreen, and I can tell you, I know for a fact that stuff is good in terms of not damaging the windshield. But I've been using this even before I had the Spyder. I believe I used this with my KTM. I haven't had a problem, so I think you'd be okay with that. And the only other thing that's in here that I want to show you is my tire extender, my tire stem valve extender. I did a whole video on the rear tire, but I've not had to use this since I had this and this, because I fill up my tires at home. However, if I'm in a situation, those things fail, I'm in the middle of nowhere, but I found a gas station, I'm going to want this to do the rear tire, because many gas station air pumps, they are unusable on, quite frankly, most motorcycles, but certainly on that. So that is my right side case. I'm going to repack it offline, and then I'm going to come back to this, and there's a reason for that. Okay, the reason why I wanted to pack it back up and show you how it looks when it's full before I close it up is, you can see here I have room. I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's room behind here. I know I can fit a pair of Skechers or probably any sneaker or any shoe that's kind of collapsible up there. So, and forget shoes, a lot of other things, if you don't need that space for shoes, there's space there for a lot of other things. And so the last thing we're gonna do is come to the trunk. So one, I keep bungee cords up here that I use. I used these this morning when I went to the grocery store. I had a box of something that would fit in there, but it was really heavy. It was like bottles of iced tea. So I keep that. In New York State, years ago, I want to say 4 or 5 years ago, the state banned plastic bags. So when you go to the grocery store, when you go to Walmart, Target, they don't give out plastic bags. So we all have our own portable, not portable, but personal grocery shopping bags, unfortunately. So you're gonna think I'm a pack rat. I am not. I'm really a minimalist. However, this is a big, huge plastic Ziploc bag. I forgot even how I got it, but hey folks, but it came with something that I bought, and I just thought, you know what, I might need that someday. And then you can see here I've got a bunch of microfiber towels, some paper towels. This has rubber padding, which is awesome at the bottom. I probably don't need all this down here, but when I put groceries here with eggs and whatnot, it probably won't hurt to have some extra padding here. I did a whole video here, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. On these little compartments that I have, I keep a Ziploc bag of GoPro equipment there. This covers up my phone in the rain on the quad lock, and I think I have Neutrogena hand cream in there as well. Yeah, I can feel it, I do. And here you can see, I'm not going to empty this, a bunch of wet ones, Kleenex. I keep my earplugs right there. I can see chapstick, a pen, I can see a couple of Band-Aids, I can see a couple of loose coins, and that's in a hand sanitizer bottle, I think, down at the bottom. The sun's in my eyes, so. And this Ziploc bag is holding up quite well, and the beauty is if this Ziploc bag does tear, now it's on the rib there, so it doesn't look like it's gonna tear anytime soon, but even if it does, I just go get another Ziploc, unscrew this and screw in another Ziploc bag. So that is the rear front. So the next video I do on my packing, oh, I forgot to put my stuff back, will be the video packing for a major trip. So it'll have all of this stuff, plus supplies and whatnot to last me for, let's say, a 3-week trip. And I'll talk more about that trip as we get closer to it. So thanks for watching this video. One other thing I want to mention is I am now scheduling videos, and have been for, I want to say, a couple of months now, for every Sunday and Wednesday. And I do it on Sunday and Wednesdays because YouTube tells you when you have a channel when the people who watch your channel are most likely to be on YouTube. And so I try to schedule my videos when you're most likely to be on YouTube. I am going to, either after this video or maybe after the next one, wean it back to 1 week only, Sundays only. Sunday is definitely the biggest day in terms of YouTube consumption for most of the people who watch my videos, and probably a lot of videos. And I'm doing that because so I'm shooting this in mid-August, as we approach the winter, when I'm going to have a lot less adventure riding, because I'm not going to be pleasure riding my Spyder and going on trips other than this one Florida trip that I've got planned that I mentioned earlier. I'm not going to be doing a lot of adventures in the winter. The videos that I'll be posting in the winter will be more mundane things, probably more topical to the Spyder, but less, showcasing the beautiful scenery that the Northeast has to offer. And because of that, I'm going to slowly but surely wean myself back to 1 video per week. There may be times when I want to insert a second video. You'll just see another video pop up on a Wednesday. So having said all of that, here we are again at Beaver Island State Park in Grand Island, New York. I just want to thank you for watching this video. If you stuck with me till the end, I sure do appreciate it. If you don't subscribe, I sure would appreciate it if you'd hit subscribe. And whether you do that or not, thanks so much for watching, and you have a great day. Bye-bye.